have learned over the years is that Saluda has had a lot of characters. To be such a small town, there are some truly unique characters in Saluda.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't, the people that are here today, don't realize the history and the people that have left their footprints here in this town, and we enjoy what they left for everyone else, but we don't know who they were or what gifts they gave to this town. And one of those really true gifts to Saluda is Coon Dog Day.
Yeah.
And I know you know a little bit about Coon Dog Day. So can you tell us what you know from your own experience of how Coon Dog Day got started?
Well, they started it out, there was George Johnson, Hicks Hill, my daddy, DeWitt Summey.
Say your daddy's name again.
DeWitt Summey.
Okay.
There was Odie Gordon and Clyde Hill. That was the main 5 people. And the whole thing was set up ready before they started the parade. Was they would buy coons. A man would catch coons and bring them up here, and they was $20 a piece for every one of them, and they'd restock the coons. That's what it was all about. That's what it really started to be.
Now, these people that you named were members of a club.
Yeah.
And what was
Coon
the
Dog Club?
Was it the Blue Ridge, Blue Ridge Coon Club?
Yeah, it was Blue Ridge. Yeah.
Blue Ridge Coon Club.
Yes.
Okay. And Blue Ridge Coon Club was in Saluda. Is that correct?
That's where it started.
That's where it started. So they were what, raising money so they could buy those raccoons to restock for the hunt, for the coon hunt.
Yeah.
So how long had the Blue Ridge Coon Club been in operation? Do you have any idea how long that's been around?
Let me think. It was in about probably 62 or 63, somewhere in there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So they decided that, because the Blue Ridge Coon Club had been having chicken dinners for a really long time.
Oh yeah.
And so what made them decide to have a parade added to that?
Before they decided to have it,
Why did they decide to add a parade to their?
it just kept building up and building up, and more people was coming. And see, before they had the parade, they would have a tree over there, and they'd put a coon up that tree, and then they'd have a treeing contest, what dog stayed at the tree the longest, and whatever happened to it, and then just, and different things, and then they'd have a show of the best looking coon dog, and right on down the line. And that's what they done right there in the park for a long time before they ever started the actual parade.
So they actually did the judging and the competition up at the
Right in
Prairie
there,
Park.
right where that park, where that little park
is
is
now.
now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
then they moved it down to the school for a while. And then
Yeah.
I think they moved it back up to the park though.
then they finally, right towards the end, they even started going on the boat from here over to Odie's at the lake, and they'd have one where the dogs, they'd put a coon up a tree in a box, and the dogs would tree it, and they'd judge them, and then they'd take that coon and run it on a cable all the way down and put him right in the middle of the lake, and then they'd have to swim out to it, which dog got there first, and so on and so forth.
So what was the reason that they had to go and purchase more
Coons?
raccoons? Mm-hmm.
Well, they had caught them and trapped them, and of course you could sell their hides, and they'd sell the hides and get money to put that in there too.
So they basically had depleted the population of raccoons.
Well, it was getting low, and so they just started, a man come out of Florida, he would bring them up here, and they'd buy them, big truckloads of them, yeah. And each person got their coon, and they could turn it out where they wanted it,
mm-hmm. Did people eat raccoons, or is it just their pelts, their fur? What was the attraction of a raccoon? It wasn't food.
Well, back years ago, people eat coons.
They did?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, just like you'd eat a groundhog or something.
Or a possum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a big sweet tater in him.
The raccoon or the...
And a raccoon, yeah. Cook it inside it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the coon hunt was a pretty big deal back in the day.
Coon hunting? Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that's
well,
done at
that's
night?
the way you showed how good your dog was.
Oh.
All of them, wherever they lived, they had a building or something that they put all their hides on. And when you went by, you could see how many coons they'd caught that year. And it was a big, just a big thing. If your dog had the most coons, then you had the best coon dog in the country, you know. So
that was kind of like your blue ribbons was how many
that's it.
coon hunts you had hanging up on your barn.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Okay. But the coon hunt was usually done at night, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you didn't hunt coons in daytime.
Okay, because they're nocturnal animals, so
Yeah.
you hunt at night. Okay. Do you think the coon hunting is as popular today?
I don't think so.
Not like it used to be.
Not like it used to be.
I remember my daddy talking about it.
I think about every schoolboy had a coon dog and everybody else.
Yeah, they're pretty dogs.
Yeah.
They're not
Well,
pets,
you got so
though.
many different kinds, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any coon hunting?
I've done some. And you went with deep with. You'd turn them loose, and when they treed, they never treed where you could walk flat ground. They had to either go 500 miles down over a bank or in a rock pile or somewhere. He'd say, boys, go down and see if you see that coon, and we'd have to go all the way down in there and shine a light till we caught his eyes. We'd say, right up yonder, Daddy. And he'd come down there and take a rifle and shoot it. We had to go do all the looking. And you didn't want no dog to run a fox. Because if he run a fox, brother, I guarantee you'd be there 4 or 5 days before he ever come back. My daddy has one thing about him. If he had one run a fox, he didn't stay long. He'd either break him or he'd be gone.
So did you prefer other type of sport like fishing or?
I love to fish.
Did you fish on the Green River? Did you ever go fish? Did you fish on the Green River?
Green River Cove?
Mm-hmm.
My mama was raised in Green River Cove. Lord, yeah. I fished, caught suckers and trout. They some of the best trout's ever been right down at the far end at the Devil's Track.
Did you ever see the Devil's Track?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Many, many times.
So that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So what does it look like?
There's a big rock there, and it actually looks like a footprint. If it's still there now, I ain't been down there in years. Somebody may have done something to it or whatever, but it's absolutely, it's sitting right down there.
Not many people know where it is, and it's overgrown, I hear. Horace Pace, I interviewed him several years ago, and he could take you straight down to it, but he said it's hard to get down there now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's hard probably to get down in there, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of kayakers go down in the cove, and I hear it's an effort just to get down there. Well, that's interesting. So, is there anything else you want to tell us about Coon Dog Day?
Not other than just, I remember when it started, and I remember how it used to go. I did tell her about this one. I won't never forget it. They used to meet out there just on the other side of 26, up there at Mac Bradley's property. Was out there one day getting lined up in the wagons and everything, and there was an old boy named Lonnie Couch from up at Tuxedo. He come rolling up in there with a horse. He got on that horse and come off with our backers. When he did, that horse went and jumped up, took one kick, and kicked the whole grill out of a man's brand new Ford truck. He had to pay to fix it.
So y'all were lining up for the parade.
Oh, yeah.
And where were you lining up at?
You went under 26. As you like, you was going to Hobbart's Cove. Mm-hmm. That first big field that was right there belonged to Mac Bradley. And he let them set up right there, and then the parade come all the way from our end of town.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the way you just said, Halberts. Everybody, I say Holbert, but it's I guess it's
Halbert's code.
Halbert's what the locals say.
Yeah.